What's up guys, LMB Productions here, and today I'll be showing you an in-depth look at my elevator rail. Now I know it's been in many videos in the past, but I never really showed it up close. So in this video you will see the exact parts and techniques that were used to build it, so I hope you enjoy the video. So we'll start off by going over the straight section first, and here's the first piece that I used to start the project off. And that is the dark bluish gray 4x4 round brick, and that is a great solid sturdy base to build upon. Now the next part is very important in holding up the elevator rail, and that is the 2x2x10 support girder, and this one is in reddish brown. Now this next part isn't mandatory, however I do highly recommend that you put it in, and that is the 8x16 plate which lies under the track. And this is a really good piece for extra support, and you'll notice that if you don't put it in, the track may start to sag over time underneath the weight of the train, and it also may shake a lot if you don't have that piece. And it also looks pretty cool because it looks like there's gravel in between the railroad ties. Alright, so here's the turn by the airport. Now this would be the most basic one because it doesn't go over the road at all. The track's lined up just right so that it went over the sidewalk. And this is pretty much using the same exact support system with the base and girder, and the track is pretty much just resting on top of it. Okay, so here's where things got a little bit tricky, and that is because I had to put the track over the roadway. So what I had to do here was put one support on the sidewalk and the other in the middle of the road so that the cars could pass by on either side. And then I put one long gray brick over the two supports so that the track could go on top of them. So I spent about 2 days figuring this out, but once it was complete, I was extremely satisfied with the end result, and I ended up using a flex track over here, and good thing I did because if I didn't, the turn would have started too early over here, and the tracks wouldn't have lined up on the other side. Now, I don't normally like using flex tracks, but I had to in this case, and I had to use another 5 over here as well. So here's a closer look. And here's the turn by the farm. Now this is basically the same as the previous turn, however there might be some different angling between the supports, but everything else is the same. It has the same basic idea. So you can see that I used the same flex track over here, as well as 5 more over here. And this straight run is the same as the other one. Now here's where things got really tricky, and that's because the track had to go over the middle of the road. So I had to find a way to do this without interrupting the traffic. So I had to put some more flex tracks over here, and I had to put a support right here to hold them up, since the flex tracks are pretty flimsy on their own. And then I had to put another one of the bridge supports right here to give extra support to the flex tracks. Then I had to put one support right in the middle of the road on top of a 2x6 brick so that it wouldn't move at all. Then I had to put another bridge support over here. And I was worried about this one because I wasn't sure how it was going to fit with the gatehouse. But luckily, the support fit right in between the house and the gate. So that worked out perfectly. So here's a closer look. Now my general rule was to leave about 12 studs in between each support. But you'll notice that especially over here, I had to put some more because of the flex tracks. And if you guys are trying to build an elevator rail, I would start off by making some precise calculations before you start, and one of the most important parts in the building process is knowing where the turns will be. So you have to know how long the turn will be, where it will start and where it will end, so that the tracks line up just right. And you're going to want to add a station or two to your elevator rail system, and that's not hard at all. All you have to do is attach the base of the station to the track, and then put some more supports underneath the station to hold it up. And you also want to make sure everything is level. So for example, on the turns where I couldn't put any plates underneath the track, I put some tiles on top of the supports so that everything was evened out. So an elevated track is a great idea, especially in a city setting, since you're probably not going to have that much room for a ground track. So it saves a lot of space and it also looks really cool. Alright, so that's going to be all for this video. Now if you have any further questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.